Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Roundabout Town podcast. My name is Anton Garcia Fernandez, and I'm coming to you live from downtown Jackson, Tennessee. And right here, we have Dr. Sandra Dee, a cardiologist in town. I spent some time today, I need to tell you, first of all, at the Jackson International Food and Art Festival. And Dr. Sandra Dee is one of the organizers, oversees this project, a wonderful project here in town. And so she graciously agreed to talk to us for a little bit regarding the festival. Dr. Dee, thank you very much for talking to us here on the Roundabout Town podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak about the festival. The festival actually started several years ago. It's really technically 9 years, but this is our 8th festival. We were part of a group called Season of Unity that was started by the then Mayor Gis here in Jackson. We are a group of community leaders at that time that were invited to talk about things that we could do for the community, how we could make a community livable and a good place for people to come. So we thought about having an international festival, which the city of Jackson has never had. So we thought, me being an immigrant myself, I've lived in the United States almost 30 years, and I've been in Jackson really 16 years. So been doing this festival for the last 8, as I said, almost 9 years, and this has been a passion of mine. Other than being a cardiologist here in town, I also think that it's important to do something for the community. I believe that doing an event like this, embracing the different culture, recognizing diversity actually helps in the growth of a community. I think that if we live by ourselves, if a culture is just one single culture, I think that's boring, don't you think?
Absolutely.
So doing this enables people to connect, interact, and know more about the different cultures that are living in their community. Because especially right now with what's going on in the world, if we don't understand other people, if we don't know them, it's almost always difficult to live with them. By knowing people, by understanding the differences, then we become tolerant of what other people are. So doing this festival is not just about food, art, music, but that's a way to connect people together.
Absolutely, and I myself was born in Spain. I was born in Europe, and I've been living in Tennessee for over 20 years, so that's something that we have in common. Where were you born, and what brought you to Jackson, Tennessee?
Yeah, I was born and raised in the Philippines. I did all my studies in the Philippines. I finished medical school there. I moved here in around 93 or so, just like anybody else, in search of the American dream. And I've always believed that, U.S. could offer me a lot more in terms of my career. That's why I moved here. I moved around different parts of the United States, mainly because of training. I was an OB/GYN back home, and when I moved to the United States, I retrained as an internal medicine doctor and then a cardiologist, followed by being an interventional cardiologist. So that's kind of what I have done so far. Lots of training.
Now, how would you say that the festival has evolved, and how has it grown over the years? Since you say this is the 9th year that...
Yeah. Technically, the 9th year. We didn't have one in 2020 because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Really, we started off having maybe around 2,000 people. When we had this, we thought, well, maybe it will just be the mayor, myself, and my other co-chair. But when we stood in front of the podium, we saw a sea of people. Really beaming with pride that a day like this is recognized, that you celebrate your cultural heritage. We are all Americans. Now we live in the United States, but we also should not forget our roots. I think that's what's important. And the other thing, too, is we believe in also educating other than the public. We also want to involve the kids. That's why we also have a kids corner or creative kids activity here, which we started on the 2nd year, because we believe that the youth is the future. They have to be taught what is right, how beautiful other cultures are, how to know and interact with other people and learn from them.
Well, what would you say, Dr. Dee, that the most challenging aspects of putting an event like this together are?
Well, I guess for one, we are mostly volunteers. I, for one, I'm a busy practicing doctor here in town, and the rest of the members of the committee are volunteers. So that's the challenging part because we all have respective jobs that we report to, or this is just really a passion of ours that we do. Should I say in our spare time? In fact, I have to let you know, just to prepare this, it takes almost a year of preparation. Of course, we are happy that the City of Jackson have been involved in helping us, supporting us logistically in this endeavor. And as I said, the challenge is really, manpower. If that's what you are asking, because as I said, most of us are just volunteers, really. So these are the people that you see that are passionate in having this event that helps the community.
I've seen vendors from different parts of the world: India, Guatemala, Mexico, Afghanistan, all over the world. How do you get in touch with these vendors? Are they from around the area? Do they come from other parts? That's something that my wife was wondering about as we were walking around
Right.
the festival here in downtown Jackson.
Well, of course, when it started, in 2014, which was our first festival, it's mainly the cultural groups that we have here. But by word of mouth and, relatives, people knowing about the festival, we were able to really invite people from other parts, really, not just in Jackson, but neighboring states, even Memphis. Some people from Nashville even come here. I've even had people coming all the way from Arkansas. So it's really by word of mouth. That's kind of what it is. And of course, they see the beauty, that they see what this is all about. That's really what makes them come and participate. And we're proud. We're proud of that. We're proud that people are enjoying. It's a bit tiring to do this, but as I said, especially in the last week, no sleep and everything. But that's part of it.
In what ways do you, Dr. Dee, see the festival growing in the next few years, or in what ways would you like for it to grow in the next few years?
Well, as it is right now, I know this is your first time to see this, but we have actually expanded our footprint, going farther in downtown. I would like it to really be, my dream really is for this to be a mecca for entertainment. I know we're not New York, we're not LA, but Little Jackson, I want it to be known to be a place wherein people could come and enjoy and learn from other people and just have fun.
It was wonderful to see such diversity today, different languages spoken, different food, things like that. You mentioned a little bit about the diversity and how food can help bring people together. Talk a little bit more about that, especially because I know that you have roots in another country other than the United States. In what ways is food and art something that brings people together?
Yeah, well, I think, by using that, I think that's the simplest way of getting people together, the easiest way to a person's, what heart really is the stomach, right? Isn't that the saying? So I think by doing that, and that's when you do that, people enjoy, and I think that's simpler to do, or maybe art or music form, or all those things. By doing that, people get excited, they learn about another culture, and when they do that, they embrace the other culture, and that will make them even more, should I say, equipped to understand and be tolerant of the differences. That's what I would like to emphasize. We are different, and yet if we value our difference, we could garner enough strength to be more powerful as a community, as a society, as a whole.
Absolutely. Well, my final question is, just want to give you a chance to very quickly explain to somebody that has never been to the festival what the festival is about, what it entails, and why people should be coming to downtown Jackson next year in 2023 for the next edition of it.
For one thing, you don't really have to travel so far, with the higher price of gas and travel. I think this is a simpler way of enjoying and exploring the world. You have the world in your own backyard. So I think that's one thing. And, that's a chance to meet new friends, meet new neighbors, meet people you've never known that exist here in your community, and see their values. And when we do that, as I said, when we try to learn and accept each other, we become more tolerant, and we're going to be a very good community. It helps the society as a whole.
Absolutely, I totally agree, and I'm sure many of our listeners are in agreement with this as well. Dr. Sandra Dee, thank you so much for talking to the Roundabout Town podcast, and come back and see us at some point. Maybe next year we can talk again.
That's right. Thank you, and we would like to see them on our ninth festival.
Dr. Sandra Dee, live from downtown Jackson, from the City Hall right here in Jackson, Tennessee. My name is Anton Garcia Fernandez, and this has been a new episode of the Roundabout Town podcast. If you've been to the festival and are listening to this, leave comments underneath and let us know what your experience was like. Dr. Dee and myself will be very happy to hear from you. Thanks again, and so long, everybody.